Good evening, dear viewers, and welcome to RTD's English News Edition. Coming up, the head of state, President of the Republic, visits the School of Excellence. The President calls his fellow citizens to solidarity during an interview. Good evening. The head of state, His Excellency Malum Margile, visited this morning the School of Excellence, which aims to train the future elites. The school, located 13 kilometers from the capital on the road of Arta, opened its doors on September 20th. The institution aims to be a national reference in the quality of teaching. It could attract students from neighboring countries in the near future. Through this move, the head of state officially inaugurated this establishment, which welcomes children whose quotient intellectual is deemed early and which are detected by their teachers. On his arrival, the head of state was welcomed by the Minister of National Education and Training, Mustafa Muhammad Mahmoud, and the principal of this school. Then the national anthem was sung in chorus by the students of the School of Excellence. The head of state later unveiled the inauguration plaque of this school, which is a gift from the People's Republic of China for the Ministry of National Education and Vocational Training. This brand new property offers modern facilities, has specialized rooms such as computer rooms, laboratories, smart classrooms, multimedia rooms, refectory and sports facilities. The spirit of spur study was taken into account. All these conditions combined with qualified and competent teachers will encourage the emergence of young students who will then have the chance to follow a leading university curriculum in all fields. This visit of the head of state to the School of Excellence brought together many personalities, including the ambassador of China to Djibouti, Li Yongyang, whose country took over the construction of the establishment. Shortly after the inauguration, the head of state followed to the established program and followed with two young children, students who presented the different classrooms to him. This guided tour led him from one room to another in a casual and relaxed atmosphere. The president and his delegation discovered in tour the rooms specialized in computer science, the laboratories, the multimedia center. All these means will only allow a full development of the young people admitted to this establishment. The head of state also visited the language laboratories where English and Arabic are dispensed. The young people are thus prepared to be able to master several international languages, including in the near future Mandarin or Chinese. This unique establishment brings together all the conditions to stimulate and push forward the young students. After the guided tour, the head of state headed into the meeting room of the School of Excellence for a refreshing moment. The two agreements were signed between the Ministry of Education and the Electronic Equipment and Appliance Company Higher, and then the School of Africa Institute of the twinning with the School of Excellence. Initially, Minister of National Education and Vocational Training, Mustafa Mohammed, signed a partnership agreement with the General Manager of the Chinese company Higher, and this agreement aims to provide equipment for the computer rooms, laboratories, in the smart classrooms of the School of Excellence, and these equipments will allow each people of basic education to have tablet and a portable PC. Through this agreement, both parties will promote educational innovations. The Ministry of National Education wanted to integrate the concept of mastering the digital tool from the outset. Students must quickly acquire the content of digitized program and serve the internet to acquire knowledge, and the teachers, researchers will help the students through the interactive courses and awaken their intellectual curiosity. The Minister of National Education has also in his speech welcomed the visit of the head of state, who inaugurated the so-called École de l'Excellence, and he talked about the importance of this school, which combines qualified and competent teachers who will encourage the emergence of young students and who will then have the chance to follow a leading university career in all fields. He has also put the emphasis on the mastery of digital tools, which is highly recommended in these modern times. Mohammed Abdullah Mahyub, Secretary General of the MENFAP, was subsequently signing a twinning agreement between the School of Excellence of the School of Africa and in Djibouti. This twinning agreement aims to exchange for improving the quality of lessons provided to promote good management or the management of the School of Excellence, and this focuses on performance, quality and results. In an interview he gave to the RTD after his visit, the President of the Republic said about the School of Excellence, and this it was the time to not miss the digital revolution and follow the technological evolution as the rest of the continent. Listen to him.
In an interview he gave to Djibouti Radio Television after his visit, the President of the Republic said about the School of Excellence that it was time to creep to the digital revolution and follow the technological evolution as the rest of the world. The head of state later felt it was time for the country to introduce the school in this new era. He briefly recalled the evolutions of school. He indicated that the colonial education system was not functioning in the country for a long time, and that Djibouti has opted for mass education no matter the cost. He recalled that with these options of mass education, the numbers of children has increased in the class, reason why, he said, the school was organized part-time. The two-shift system was abandoned. The school system had been thoroughly reviewed, and the state has multiplied school for the sole purpose to stabilize the enrollment to 40 students per class in a single shift, said the head of state.
In addressing the issue of introducing the digital revolution to school, the President said that Djibouti should not miss this turning point. Let's listen to him.
Addressing the issue of introducing the digital revolution to school, the President said that Djibouti should not miss this turning point. The 21st century, said the President, marks indeed a great turning point in the evolution of technology, and he added it belonged to everyone to adapt to it. That's why we continue this School of Excellence, he said. It is a test project, introducing new technologies to the service of learning. To do this, we have selected the best students and the best teachers to start this project. I had been able to visit this morning each building, and this is a success, highlighted the head of state. As you can see, he said these selected students were able to take ownership of this new technology. The President of the Republic added that this is time to use connected object and control network that is suitable for teaching only. The President of the Republic has clarified in this regard that this school was the second step toward which the Djiboutian school was heading after the first phase of the digital tablet that has been put in place.
And for his third part of this interview, the head of state has talked about the bloody attack last Saturday in Mogadishu.
Referring to the issue of bombing the capital of Somalia, Mogadishu, the head of state said that everything leads us to believe that it is because the size and its enormity. This is the work of drifting terrorists. This is something that has never been seen. This is odious and unprecedented. This attack of mass destruction without any distinction has caused many victims and as many wounded. The Republic of Djibouti had to provide aid and humanitarian support under such circumstances. That is why we have sent a contingent of 30 doctors from different specialties and nurses, said the head of state. The President of the Republic initiating the first step of humanitarian and support aid to the Somali brothers has recalled to the Djiboutian people to also come to help.
The second flight of medicines and hospital equipment to help victims of the bloody attack last Saturday in Mogadishu reached its destination. It is in the afternoon of yesterday that the plane of Armed Forces of Djibouti landed at the airport of Mogadishu. 4 tons of medicines and hospital equipment were shipped. The emergency humanitarian aids were preceded by the sending of a medical team composed of surgeons, anesthetists, orthopedists, general practitioners and paramedics. The armed attack that took place last Saturday in Mogadishu in a busy commercial area caused nearly 300 victims and hundreds of wounded. It was on the instruction of the head of state, Ismail Margili, that this emergency aid was channeled, and this medical mission is conducted and coordinated by the Minister of Health, Dr. Jamal Muki. And after his meetings with the Somali authorities, the Minister of Health, Dr. Jamal Muki, said they visited the wounded of the murderous attack last Saturday. The minister was able to observe the work of the medical teams dispatched to help their Somali brothers, and several countries have also sent medical aids, and some have provided transport to other hospitals of the world at the most serious cases. In an intervention, the Minister of Health recalled the purpose of his mission to Somalia. In an interview granted to the press, he spoke about the history of the ties between the Republic of Djibouti and the Federal Republic of Somalia, recalling Djibouti's continuous efforts in the reconstruction of Somalia. Djibouti Health Minister Jamal Mouki also informed the federal government of Somalia that the Djiboutian government and people are willing to spare no efforts to rescue and help the Somali people in this terrible ordeal. In this notice of disappearance, Mrs. Fatia Farah, a late resident in Balbala's sector, Barwaqo, launches a notice of search to find her daughter, Prince Hafsa Ahmed Hassan, 18 years old student in the first year at the University of Djibouti, and Miss Hafsa has not been home since yesterday. In the last news, she left her class at 11:30 and since then, her family did not hear of her. She was dressed in a black club and wears a blue veil on her head. Anyone who has crossed or seen Ms. Hafsa Ahmed is asked to contact the Hayabli police station or dial the family phone number. These numbers are 7782 26 26, 7735 40 46, or 7786 20 51. Now moving on to the international news, US-backed militia in Syria declared victory of Islamic State in this capital Raqqa on Tuesday, raising flags over the last jihadist footholds after a 4-month battle. The fighting was over and the alliance of Kurdish and Arab militia was clearing the city's state of mines and any remaining militants, said Rojda Falat, commander of the Raqqa campaign of the Syrian Democratic Forces, SDF. A formal declaration of victory in Raqqa will soon be made once the city has been cleared of mines in any possible Islamic State sleeper cells, said SDF spokesman Tala Silo. In Washington, the U.S. military said that about 90% of Raqqa had been retaken from Islamic State, but it's expected that SDF to face pockets of resistance in the fall of Raqqa, where Islamic State staged euphoric parades after its string of lightning victories in 2014 is a potent sample of jihadist movements' collapsing fortunes. And the ISIS has also much of its territory in Syria and Iraq this year, including the most prized possession, Mosul. In Syria, it has been forced back into a strip of the Euphrates Valley and surrounding desert. The SDF, backed by US-led international alliance, has been fighting this June to take the city, which the ISIS used to plan attacks abroad. A judge in Hawaii has blocked the latest version of Trump administration travel ban just hours before it was set to take effect, and saying that it suffers from precisely the same maladies in its predecessor. And Derek Watson, U.S. District Judge, on Tuesday granted Hawaii's request to temporarily block the federal government from enforcing the policy. It was supposed to take effect midnight as well. The Trump administration's most recent restrictions affect citizens of Chad, Iran, Libya, North Korea, Somalia, Syria, and Yemen, and some Venezuelan government officials and their families. Hawaii agrees the updated ban is a continuation of Donald Trump's promise to exclude Muslims from the United States. The White House blasted the temporary ruling as dangerously flawed while vowing to appeal it, stating the court order undercuts the president's efforts to keep the American people safe and enforce minimum security standards for entry into the United States. Other courts are witnessing challenges to the policy. In Maryland, the American Civil Liberties Union and other groups are seeking to block the visa and entry instructions in the president's latest proclamations. And that's all for tonight's news. Thank you for joining us and have a good night.